What's up, pagan people? Drew here, and this is kind of a part 2 of my plastic witch conversation video that I did the other day. If you hear weird noises in the background, my dog is behind me gnawing on her ball, and she's a French 10, so she snorts and the whole thing. So this conversation, this plastic witch conversation, is still going around the community, and I think that's great. I think the more we talk about it, the better. Let's talk about it in depth, get all sides and views. It's an important conversation. But I feel like part of the conversation is missing, and maybe it's out there and I just haven't seen it yet, but I haven't heard what I feel is a huge important part of this conversation. Okay, so there's kind of 2 ways to come at this whole plastic part of the issue, and that is plastic is bad for magic. I think it was Blue Sage. I saw a comment under a video about how he doesn't use plastic in his magic because it is a insulator, and so it's not good for conducting magic, which makes absolute 100% sense. I don't use plastic in my magic because I just energetically I don't feel like it doesn't mesh. I don't know, and maybe that's why. Maybe because it's not a good conductor, because it's an insulator. Maybe that's what I'm picking up on. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right, so I don't use it. But then there's this other argument that plastic's bad for the environment. This argument makes me angry. Not because plastic isn't bad for the environment. Of course plastic is bad for the environment. It makes me angry because it is such a hypocritical stance to take on the topic, in my opinion. Unless, of course, you are full on living off the land and not using hardly any outside resources in your magic. Because I'm about to make a statement that may be upsetting for people. It might be controversial, but it is 100% true. Modern witchcraft is bad for the environment. And when I say modern, I mean anything basically after the Industrial Revolution. So this is a long time. For a long time, witchcraft has been bad for the environment. Now, there are going to be exceptions to the rule, but in general, I think that the vast majority of witches are doing things in their magic, with their magic, that is bad for the environment. I absolutely wholeheartedly include myself in this. Oh, hello, baby. Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Oh, Spirit just confirmed for me, Judah, stop, that I'm right, and that I'm giving a good message. Okay, a hawk just came down and flew so low into my yard, you guys, like head level, just now. For me, this is full confirmation that I am speaking a message that needs to be heard. And I don't mean to sound super egotistical or something, but like for me, that's how Spirit gives me messages. Big birds fly close to me when there's confirmation that I am on the right path and doing the right thing, headed the right direction. I could completely 100% cut out all of the things that I do in my magic that are bad for the environment, but unfortunately it wouldn't change a whole lot. And the reason that is because modern witchcraft is bad for the environment, because modern lifestyles, the way we live today, is bad for the environment. So, for example, let's pretend I wanted to make a cleansing spray and I wanted to use rubbing alcohol as my base, and alcohol as my base. I have to go to the store and buy a plastic bottle of alcohol. I could go buy some Everclear, but if I make cleansing spray on a regular basis and I'm using it a lot, that's going to get really expensive. And even if I get it in a glass bottle, the glass industry is horrible for the environment. It lets off emissions into the air, and it also creates water pollution. It's not good for the environment. An even worse offender is the paper industry. It is absolutely deplorable. It is one of the worst. All of the emissions that it lets off into the air just to make paper from beginning to end. And that's not it. There's pulp and paper generate the 3rd largest amount of industrial air, water, and land emissions in Canada, and it is the 6th largest in the United States. Worldwide, the pulp and paper industry is the 5th largest consumer of energy and accounts for about 4% of all the world's energy use. I mean, I could go on and on and on. The paper industry is horrible for the environment. All of us witches write our petitions, even if it's on a paper bag from the grocery store. That's paper. How many tarot cards and oracle cards do we own as witches? Willow Night Owl made a great point in her video where she touched on this topic. I could do my best to eliminate anything from my witchcraft that was bad for the environment, but my everyday life would still consist of many, many things that are bad for the environment. The point that Willow Night Owl made was that you get in your car and you drive around and your car consists of a ton of plastic. So this idea that you can live and survive and meet your everyday needs in modern society without plastic is kind of ridiculous. I mean, you can try and you can eliminate as much as possible, and bravo, kudos to you, please do so. But plastic is not the only problem. Plastic is one piece of a large puzzle. Everything is bad for the environment these days. Whether the item itself is bad for the environment, how it's made, how it is constructed and processed or used is bad for the environment. It's unfortunate, and I'm not saying we shouldn't do anything about it. I'm just saying it's really hypocritical to say plastic is bad, you shouldn't use plastic. When glass is bad, you shouldn't use glass. When paper is bad, you shouldn't use paper. There are so many places to point a finger of judgment when it comes to environmental issues that it's not even funny. So to just pick on one is, in my mind, it's really hypocritical. Again, should we do everything in our power to eliminate things that are harmful for the environment? Absolutely. I've said it before, I'll say it again. One of the ways I choose to do this is to get my glassware secondhand. Glass is bad for the environment. It's already there. Let me use it, reuse it, repurpose it, keep doing it over and over and over again. We each as individuals have to make choices about what we do in our everyday life and the effect that has on ourselves and those around us. Until I am walking in perfect alignment, I have no right to point my finger at other people and tell them how they're doing, what they're doing is wrong. We each are entitled to an opinion. We each are entitled to share that opinion, but it's this thing that gets attached to it. Like, I don't care that you have an opinion. I don't have to agree with your opinion, but it's when you start saying these people are real witches and these people are not real witches. This is what real witchcraft looks like, and anything else is out the door. It's not real. It's bad. It's wrong. It's whatever. That's when I get my hackles come up. In this day and age, it is really hard, at least in the United States of America, to live 100% full as a good pagan. Because again, I want some bread from the grocery store. I have to buy plastic to get that bread. The point of this video for me is that we can all do better. Every single one of us can do better. So I'm going to be the first to point my finger at myself and say my witchcraft is bad for the environment. I use candles. Beeswax is a preference, but I use paraffin candles all the time. They're bad for the environment. I use glass in my magic all the time. That's bad for the environment. I use paper. I use so much paper. It's so bad for the environment. My witchcraft is bad for the environment, with or without plastic. Sorry if I come off preachy at all. I'm really not trying to. I just felt that it was important for me to say that. Oh, gosh. I'm annoyed. So I'm annoyed today. I'm sorry if I sound bitchy in this video, but I kind of am. If you hung out this long, I appreciate it. I really do. It's important to me. So thank you for listening. And until next time, much love and gratitude.